Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm so excited to show you guys the applications of data science in football. So today I will be presenting on grading NFL defenders and coverage using player tracking data. So to start off, a cornerback's, their role is to defend the receiver, right? Their goal is to not let the receiver catch the ball. The traditional metrics so far for corners are like yards, touchdowns, receptions allowed. However, these don't fully capture the value of preventing a quarterback from targeting their receiver. And so our goal was to create a target agnostic grade for both cornerbacks and receivers. So as I said, the goal was to quantify cornerback and wide receiver performance on all routes, as well as to find undervalued players. So this is like one of the goals in Moneyball. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie or read the book, but and our other goal was to optimize cornerback wide receiver matchups for in-game decisions. So really, there's only two steps. It's pretty simple. The first is to predict. Sorry, can we go back a slide? Okay, there we go. So the data, it's from the 2018-2019 season. This was given by the NFL. So every year they put on a competition called the NFL Big Data Bowl. And so this was the competition 2 years back just to kind of find insights on cornerbacks. And so what they gave us was game data, player data. So this gives us play position tags to identify the cornerbacks and the receivers. Player tracking data. So this is, they give us data on, basically there's 10 rows for each second. So as you can imagine, this is a lot of data. But they give us the X and Y coordinates, the speed, direction, orientation, and the event tags such as like ball snap, ball thrown. And this is for all the players on the field as well as the football. They also give us play data, so this is like down and distance, personnel, scenario stuff like time, as well as EPA. So EPA, this is expected points added. Basically, this is just a better success metric for each play, because right now the traditional metric is yards, right? But not all yards are created equal. So let's say 5 yards on a 3rd and 5 is so much more valuable than 5 yards on a 3rd and 10, because the first scenario gets you a first down. The second scenario, you don't get the first down. So EPA, it's just a better metric for each play. And then, yeah, so the methodology is just 2 parts: predicting the model route success. So I define success as just when EPA is greater than 0, meaning it's a positive play. And so this was used, we used an XGBoost model just because we wanted feature importance, plus there was built-in regularization because we had just too many features. And then as we wanted to develop player ratings with an ELO model. And so ELO is basically just like a power rating system for zero-sum games. So it originated in chess. Like the classic example is like you have a lower rated player and a higher rated player. When those two play and the higher rated player wins, that's what you'd expect, right? So their rating goes up a little bit, the other player goes down a little bit. But in this scenario, if the lower player wins, it's not expected. So their rating goes up a lot, and then the higher player rating, it goes down just a little bit. Goes down a lot, sorry, my bad. So these ELO ratings, they are what we will ultimately use to grade players. So this is the XGBoost model. Basically, we found that the most important features were like the spatial variables that we created, such as like separation distances between the receiver cornerback, as well as orientations and max speeds. So this is what you would expect. This animation is just a way to visualize like the win probabilities over time, like over the course of the play. So I'll let it start over. So we're looking at 23 and 17 at the bottom of the screen. 23 is the corner, and so originally he's favored, but over the course of the play you can see 17, the receiver, like the scale at the bottom, it goes towards him, because as you can see throughout the course of the play, he gains separation, and so you would expect him to win. he wasn't even targeted. So that's why our metric, I think, is important. And then this is just a quick recap of like the defender rankings. So this is just purely for like, it passes the eye test. I don't know if you guys recognize these names, but Stephon Gilmore, Denzel Ward, and Jalen Ramsey, they were all Pro Bowlers that year. So this helps validate that our model is doing well. And then these were the final receiver ratings, the rankings. I bet you guys actually recognize these names, but these are the top 10 guys in terms of our ELO ratings. And so you can see like Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones. They were all Pro Bowlers that year, so again, this just passes the eye test for us. Okay, so this graph, it helps us, like I said before, it's like we want to find undervalued players, and so this shows 6 of the top 7 rated players, I believe, by PFF. PFF is just an external company that grades players, but you can see that all of these players, they lie above the line, above the trend line that shows how much they're getting paid, the x-axis salary cap versus the ELO rating we gave them. So because they're all above the line, we would call them underrated, and you would probably want to target them in like free agency or something. But also you can see James Bradbury at the bottom. He's an Eagle this year, part of the Super Bowl team, the Eagles. So I would say that this validates our model as well. And then finally, like I said, we want to use this to help make in-game decisions. So essentially here you have 2 options, right? You can put Gilmore on Adams and Jones on Cobb, or you can put Gilmore on Cobb and Jones on Adams. And then we can give you like the probabilities of each matchup win. And then when you multiply them together, you can see like the left option, New England, they have a 63% chance of like winning that matchup for the corners. And then on the right, it's a 61% chance, so you would want to take the left side matchup. So basically, our metric, I think, provides effective player evaluation for making like personnel decisions, as well as for in-game planning, so you can decide what matchups you want to do. And my big takeaway, though, is that player tracking data, I think, is very important, and it was an important predictor, so I think that is where the next frontier of sports analytics is. But I hope you learn more about how to use data science in sports.